All right. So now that we've put a down payment on our uh, advertising flyers, right? This is what happened next. We are finally now still on Wednesday, June 12th, but this time this is what happened. We end up receiving our inventory, right? So here's what I want you to do. We got perpetual regular inventory for the regular coffee for moving average, okay? And we have the perpetual supreme coffee, which we're going to use first in, first out for, okay? So that's going to give us the ability to be able to manage our inventory accounts accordingly, right? So in this case, right, we got moving average and we got FIFO, and it's going to be for perpetual inventory, okay? So this is what we received from Atlas Coffee Importers, right? We received that we got 125 pounds of regular coffee and 125 pounds of supreme coffee. Right here, quoted for $1.35 each. We gave for $168.75, and then we quoted the supreme coffee for $155 each, which gave you $193.75. So the grand total bill here is for $362.50. So, first off, what did we buy and how did we pay for it? Okay, so starting off with the first one, what did we buy? What did we buy here?
Your regular and supreme coffee.
We bought regular and supreme coffee, right? Now, how do I journalize perpetual inventory? What accounts am I going to use to represent that I received perpetual inventory?
Aren't you going to journalize it as regular coffee and supreme coffee and accounts payable?
Correct, because in this case, right, because it's perpetual inventory, right, we immediately have to put it under inventory. Now, in this case, since inventory is such a broad account, it's the main account, right? I want you to be more specific. We do have a sub account for regular coffee and a sub account for supreme coffee. So in this case, that's exactly what we're going to do. We already recognize that it's perpetual inventory, and we're going to record it as inventory. So in this case, we got 12.20 and 12.40 for regular and supreme. And because we're not going to pay it now, we're going to choose to pay later. Accounts payable is going to be there. Okay, good. So we got some regular coffee. And we got some supreme coffee. Okay. And we have accounts payable. Okay. So starting with regular coffee should be 12.20, 12.40, and accounts payable is 20,000. Okay. Now, how much is going to go to the regular coffee?
$168.75.
$168.75. How much is going to go to the supreme coffee?
$193.75.
Okay, giving you a total accounts payable to be the
$362.50.
The $362.50. Good, excellent. So you should have every piece of information here to go ahead and finish the rest of your description, right? So first off, let's start off with who did we receive this coffee from? Or receive this bill from? Okay. Atlas Coffee Importers. What was my proof of the transaction here?
Invoice 315.
Okay. And do you need to disclose that you bought regular and supreme coffee?
It's already listed, but I guess you
Exactly.
can do it anyway.
I would just put 120, 250 pounds coffee. That should be
Hmm.
good enough. And then last but not least, what are my terms? Was I given terms?
I think it was 4 days. Let me see what it is. Oh yeah, 115 net 30.
So they're going to give me a opportunity to take a discount. How nice of them. Okay? So, now that we have my journal done, what should you do first before you forget?
Listed in your general ledger.
In that case, I already know I'm going to post it to the ledger, so that's not something I would tend to forget. But I'm going to go ahead and post it to my purchase orders because this one is most likely I'm going to forget. Okay? That I checked and I made sure that all the coffees were there. So here you go. Atlas Coffee Importers, right? We received our coffee for that $362.50, where I'm going to go ahead and plug it in here. Okay, so we got date.
Yeah, the 612, and then invoice 315.
Okay, so then I'm good to go. So let's see. I'm still pending on one more transaction. Okay, and that will be or pending for one more order for the refrigerator. Okay. So that's something I would most likely forget. So now that I accomplished that, I can now go ahead and proceed to the next step, which is going to be plugging it into your ledger. So I finally have some coffee beans. Okay, so I'm going to go find my coffee. Right, should be those long tables in there. So that's going to be your indicator here. So regular coffee. Today is the 12th. What happened here? We purchased 125 pounds of coffee, right? If you want to put the unit price on there, that is up to you. I think because you're going to have those numbers in your inventory worksheet anyway, and you're going to process your inventory worksheet anyway. So in this case, I think for my personal, I think 125 pounds is good enough that you purchased it, right? We're still on General Journal page 4, and it's going to be for that 168.75, right? $168.75. Okay? You can also do the math here, right? I can take my 168.75 and divide it by 125, and I would get my cost per item, right? So again, it is up to you if you want to put that cost in there, but I'm okay here. Okay? Oh, I'm gonna format this. Okay. So that's my regular coffee. Now I need to put in my supreme coffee. Okay. Today is the 12th. We purchased 125 pounds. We're on General Journal page 4 for that $193.75. Okay, 193.75. Okay. So now that I have my coffees in there, okay, I now can go ahead and proceed to my accounts payable, right? Because I decided I'm not going to pay it now. I'm going to hold off to it because they give me a whole 30 days to pay it off. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that. Okay? So it's 612, right? Now, of course, you could use your credit card to pay for it. It would probably benefit you better that way to just pay everything with a credit card. But at the same time, it's up to you what you want to do. Okay? But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and just have it recorded as a liability that I owe the vendor money, not the credit card company. Okay? And this was invoice number 315. General Journal page 4, and we just increased our liabilities by $362.50. Okay? And that ultimately is going to increase my liabilities to a total of $14,116.40. So that is a lot of money that I owe to a lot of other people. Okay? All right. So now that I've finished my journal, posted it to my ledger here, I can now go ahead and post it to my subsidiary ledger. Because now I owe Atlas Coffee money. Okay, starting from the very top, you got all things ceramics. Here's Atlas Coffee Importer. So the very first transaction here is I'm going to put in that I have purchased £125 of regular coffee, which gave you a total of $168.75 plus 125 pounds. Actually, I'm not going to include the price. I'm just going to do purchase 125 pounds of regular coffee plus 125 pounds of supreme coffee. And that should be good enough. Invoice is going to be invoice number 315. Post reference, once again, General Journal page 4. And were we given terms? Yes, we were, right? We were given that we get to take a 1% discount opportunity if we make the payment within 15 days. If not, the entire bill is due in 30 days. So in this case, if I receive the bill on the 12th of June, when is the last day of my discount due date? What's 15 days from now? When is the last time I can pay in order to receive that 1% discount?
That one is 7/12.
That's 30 days from now.
Oh, the discount 27, 6/27.
6/27, and then 30 days from now is going to be July 12th. Good, right? So then, what was my invoice amount for? $362.50. And I have yet to make a payment on this, so invoice amount minus prepaid minus returns minus discounts minus payments will give you a total of $362.50 that you owe to Atlas Coffee Importers. Okay. Now that we finally have inventory, what should we do next?
Add it to your inventory.
Add it to your inventory because that's the most important thing that you can do for perpetual inventory, right? Every purchase that you make will affect your inventory. Every sale that you make will affect your inventory. Okay? All right. So here, right, I have at the top of the window here moving average for regular coffee for perpetual inventory. So today's date is the 12th, right? And how many items did we buy? We purchased 125 units. The cost per item is currently $1.35, which will give you your 168.75. Okay? Now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you stop here because we need to know, is there any shipping costs that are going to be involved? And I'll give you a hint. Yes, there will be. So therefore, we're going to stop here and finish our shipping, and then we can go ahead and proceed with the calculations here. Right? Same thing with Supreme Coffee. We're going to go ahead and, whoops. Okay. Supreme Coffee today, right? For the Supreme Coffee, we're going to be using first in, first out method. Okay, today's the 12th. We're going to skip the cost of goods sold section because we just purchased inventory 125 pounds at $1.55, which is going to give you a total here of $193.75. So I'm going to go ahead and okay. So now that I have that in there, right, I am now done with this, right? I can continue on to do the shipping cost, okay? And then fill out the rest of this information later. So the shipping cost, right? Here we received another bill accompanying the coffees that we purchased here, right? I end up getting a bill, right, for the delivery of the coffee to my store. So in this case, Atlas Coffee Importers, if you actually look at their invoice, right, they come from San Francisco, California. Of course, they're going to be having a third-party vendor to ship those items to our store in the Las Vegas region, right, in the Las Vegas state. So in this case, I need to go ahead and read this on the shipping. So in this case, they used Freightline delivery services. Okay. They invoiced me 482 invoice. Okay. They gave me terms COD. So what does COD mean?
Credit on delivery.
Cash on delivery. Okay, so in this case,
cash on delivery.
you gotta, so here for shipping 125 pounds of regular coffee and Supreme Coffee, they charged you $62.50. Okay, so because this is cash on delivery, I have to pay for it automatically. So in this case, how do I distribute this shipping cost? How do I record that I have to pay for shipping for the
Freight
regular?
expense.
Okay. In this case, freight expense is only used for periodic inventory. What kind of inventory is this?
Let me see how I wrote that down. Actually, what I did is perpetual, so it's regular coffee, supreme coffee, and then we paid with a check. So we actually have to do it for each individual inventory.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because remember, for perpetual inventory, it is every single cost it takes to get the inventory to the store. Okay, right? So that means if I purchased inventory, right? The purchase price is going to go towards inventory. Shipping cost is going to go straight to inventory. Everything goes straight to inventory. So any delivery fees, any expedited fees, all of that is to get the inventory asset to my store. So therefore, it's going to be put into the inventory, right? We're going to put it straight into inventory. So in this case, we got regular coffee and supreme coffee. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it here. Okay, and since it was COD, we're going to be cutting another check. Okay, and how much was the total amount for?
For each one, it's 31.25.
Right?
But the total amount was for the check, it was 62.50.
Correct. How do you normally split shipping?
By poundage, so that's why I did it by the pound.
Correct. In this case, I bought exact even 125 pounds of regular and 125 pounds of supreme. So I can just simply take my total shipping cost of $62.50 and I can split that into two to give me a total of $31.25 for each coffee. Giving you a grand total of $62.50 for shipping. Right? So therefore, let's go ahead and plug it into my ledger. Okay, so my ledger is going to tell me that I'm going to increase my accounts. Okay, so here's my regular coffee. And I'm going to just put in here my items. Here is going to be shipping cost. Okay, general journal page 4 for the total of $31.25. Okay, so therefore, right, if you do your formula for your total debits and credits, right, okay, so I should have a total of $200 in my regular coffee. Okay, I also need to now update my supreme coffee. Sorry, there you go. Today's the 12th. We got shipping cost. General Journal page 4 for $31.25. So therefore, right, you're going to add any debits that are in your column with the previous balance and subtract any balances from the here, right, for any credit balances. So in this case, I'm going to be adding here $31.25 to the first purchase of coffee to give me a total of $225 even. Okay. Okay. So then, now that we got my coffees in there, I can go ahead and update my liability. Or no, wait, no, we wrote a check. Oh wait, we're supposed to write a check. Oh, I didn't even finish my journal. Okay, so already we need to cut a check because we're gonna make a payment to Valley Delivery Services, right? Oh my gosh, Freight Okay, so let's do again. Freight line. So check register, we're going to be cutting check number 1513. So 612 for $32.50. Wait, $62. Oh, I have no idea. All right, $62.50 to Freight once again. Sorry, not Valley Delivery Services. Freight line. Okay. And why did you make a payment to Freightline? Is because they shipped out the coffee to you. So shipment of coffee. Okay. So that's why you paid $62.50 to check number 1513. So you should have all the information in here. So again, we dealt with Freightline, right? For the invoice number 482. Yep, 482. Okay, and then of course you could put in here shipping cost. And then you can go ahead and put that you wrote check number 1513 to have proof that you made a payment and received the coffee. Okay. So therefore, now that I have that updated and I'm ready to now post to my ledger, excuse me, sorry for that, I can go ahead and so I did my regular coffee and my supreme coffee, so I can go ahead and update my checking account now because this is my proof that I had a COD, right? A cash on delivery. So today is the 12th, right? We got a cash on delivery. So in this case, I wrote check number 1513. General Journal page 4 for $62.50. So that should decrease your account by $5,489.92. So again, we're dropping our account from $5,552 to $5,489. Okay. Okay. All right. So now that I have my checking updated, okay, so I got my journal done. I got my posted it to my ledger. So then now I can go ahead and post it to my subsidiary ledger, right? Because this one, even though you had to pay a COD, this is proof that you actually paid and received the coffees, right? Because again, they're using a third-party vendor to go ahead and do this for you. So you want to also ensure that the payment has gone through and so on and so forth, so they don't claim anything other. Okay? And I'm going to call this delivery shipping cost. Delivered 250 pounds of coffee. Okay. General, oh, and I used check number 1513. Oops. Check number 1513. Invoice number, I think it was 482. Journal page 4. Terms is COD. Okay. And that should give you the total of $62.50, which you made a payment for using, yep, your check. So therefore, if you run your formula, you should be at 0. Okay, so this is just to ensure that you did receive the coffees. Okay, so we did our journal, our ledger, and now we did our subsidiary ledger. So last but not least, we need to finalize our inventory worksheet, right? I'm going to start with my regular coffee. Okay, my regular coffee. I had to add $31.25, right? Because that's what 62.50 splits up to be, $31.25. So therefore, you should have a grand total of $200 worth of total cost. Now, in this case, what costing method am I going to be using for my regular coffee? What costing method am I using for my regular coffee?
Regular coffee. Your regular coffee is moving average.
It's moving average. So therefore, when I carry my values over, right, what column are we going to be constantly be using? Okay, so quantity, I right now have 125 pounds. My total cost is going to be $200. We are constantly calculating my average cost per item for every single transaction we do, whether we purchase our inventory, whether we sold. Because what we're ultimately doing here is we're always constantly adding our total costs together and dividing it by our total quantity. So in this case, this is the formula you need to put is in this middle section here. That my $200 divided by the 125 pounds is going to give you $1.60. Okay. All right. So that's my first one there. And this is what I'm going to use too. Your ledger and your calculations here in your inventory worksheet should match at all times. Okay? Now, of course, which one's going to be more correct? Well, in this case, right, your ledger will always be more correct than your inventory worksheet. Because your inventory worksheet, you're constantly rounding numbers. Where when you enter your values into your ledger, it's straightforward. You're putting in your what do you call it? You're automatically rounding the numbers that are being calculated in your ledger. So that's why that's the rule of thumb here is You want to ensure that your inventory worksheet matches your ledger. Okay, so in this case, for my regular coffee, is the total amount in my regular coffee $200? I think I went paid past it. Okay, here's my regular coffee. Is my regular coffee currently at $200 as my total cost? Yes, it is. Okay, so therefore, that's what you have to constantly be doing, is checking that number so you don't make mistakes along the way once again and your calculations are coming out evenly. Okay, so that's that one there. So the next one is Supreme Coffee, right? I'm using Supreme Coffee, right, for 31 for the shipping for it was $31.25. So therefore, you should have a total of 225. Whoops, I think I right, 225. Okay? Now, what kind of costing method am I using for Supreme Coffee?
First in, first out.
First in, first out. So that means you need to figure out what the cost per item is. So what is 200, the total cost divided by the quantity for this particular batch of inventory that I purchased?
$1.80.
$1.80. So therefore, this is what you're going to transfer. You're going to transfer the batches of inventory right across into your inventory on hand. So that means you'll have your first batch at $1.25. That is currently at $1.80, and that's where you're going to multiply across to get your total cost here. So that's where your formula needs to be. So then when you do calculate that you sold something, you're just going to be modifying the quantity, right? Because the cost per item is going to always stay the same unless you returned some pounds of coffee. All right, so that means if I had 100 and I sold 25, right, it will automatically calculate that amount for me. So in this case, we had 250 pounds. Oops. Hey. We have 125 pounds, excuse me, which is currently at $225. Okay? All right, and does that match your ledger?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Okay, right here, my current balance my in my Supreme Coffee account is $225. Okay, so that is how you're able to prevent any mistakes from happening or your calculations in your inventory to be correct by always matching your ledger. Okay, so your ledger will always be the true statement. Okay. All right, so that is it for dealing with perpetual inventory. Okay, everybody good so far?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on next. Okay, so here, right, we are now on Thursday, June 13 here. Okay. Thursday, June 13 here. And we decide to hire Silver State Electrical, okay, to upgrade the electrical wiring for the coffee grinder. Okay. So, is that a transaction we need to record, yes or no?
Yes.
Why? Why do we need to record that we hired Silver State Electrical for electrical wiring upgrading?
Oh, not that part. No.
Okay, so in this case, no. All we did was simply hire them. They haven't done the job, or we don't know if they have done the job, and we never received a bill or payment of a service being completed. So in this case, right, no transaction there. Okay. Next thing that we have here is we end up receiving a bill from LV Remodeling again. This time, we got billed for the installation of the reinforcement of the foundation for the coffee grinder. Okay, invoice number 1760. All right, for 1560. So, how did we record this transaction now?
Miscellaneous suspense and accounts payable.
Miscellaneous expense and accounts payable, because this is a direct cost to the coffee grinder. Where is your coffee grinder? It's in your
Bill
miscellaneous
and miscellaneous
expense.
expense.
Good. Why do I not code this to a subcontractor expense?
Because it's still part of the grinder.
Right. We hired them specifically to do work for the grinder because the grinder needed to be reinforced. The foundation needs to be on a stable table, right? So we needed to bind it to the table. So in this case, that had to cost money because this is a direct cost to the actual asset itself. It's whatever necessary cost it takes to get the asset ready for store, right? This foundation wouldn't have anything to do with the store anyways, right? Because even if it was, right, it's still coded to the grinder. But if it wasn't coded to the grinder, then yes, it would be considered a subcontractor expense because, once again, just like what you did for the interior design for the store, right, through LV Remodeling Company, right, they just revamped and designed the store, right? But in this case, we are looking at adding to my already uh, ready to go coffee grinder, because this is the necessary things that you need to set up ahead of time before it can be fully placed into service. So in this case, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to add it to my miscellaneous expense because it's going to become part of the cost of the asset, right? Because it's something that you need to do to prepare for to prepare to run the coffee, right? Or to prepare to sell the coffee. So in this case, 614, right? What did we buy?
We didn't buy anything. You said miscellaneous expense, right?
Yeah, well, I meant purchase, right? Okay. Yeah. So
So in
miscellaneous.
other words, it's for LV Remodeling Company, the reinforcement of the counter for the coffee grinder, invoice 1760 net 4.
Yes. Miscellaneous expense.
It's 19,990.
Okay. And then we're going to code this
Accounts
to
payable.
accounts payable. Sorry, I forgot you.
Yeah,
You already
20,000.
you already told me the journal already. So accounts payable. Okay. All right, 19,990 for accounts pay is 20,000, and we're gonna code it for 1560. Okay. All right. So description. Just give me 1 second to type that in. LV Remodeling Company, invoice number 1760, reinforce foundation for grinder, right? And we have how many days to pay? Net 4.
Net 4.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's go ahead and transfer this information into my ledger. Okay. So we have another miscellaneous suspense. We're adding to the cost of the coffee grinder now. There you go. I finally got there. Okay. Today is the 13, 14?
On that one,
Today's the 13, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Did I put 14? Oh, yes, I did.
yeah,
put
still
14.
13.
We're still 13. Okay. Okay, so here, today's the 13, right? We can go ahead and say reinforcement of foundation. If you want to put the invoice number in here, you can. Okay, we're still on page 4, and we're going to increase my coffee brewer account by $1,560. Okay, $1,560. So right now, that should increase the cost of your asset to be right now $3,088.07. Okay, and we decided to owe more money. So we're going to go to my liabilities and plug that in for the 13. Okay, so that is going to give me invoice number 1760. General journal page 4 because we're still on it. And we're going to credit 1560 because we owe $1,560. So therefore, my account balance should be $15,676.40. So once again, we just keep racking more and more and more bills. Okay? Okay. So there you go. We finished the journal. We finished the ledger. Okay? Now we need to pop in the information to our subsidiary ledger because now we owe LV Remodeling more money. Okay? So LV Remodeling Company, LV Remodeling Company. Here we are, LV Remodeling. Today is the 13th. We had reinforcement foundation for grinder done for 1760 invoice, general journal page 4. And we also got the same thing, net 4. Okay, so therefore, when is this bill due? If I received it on the 13th, 4 days later, when is this bill due?
'17th.
Due on the 17th, good. Okay, and for what total amount? 360. Oh, what am I doing? $1,560. Okay, so therefore, if you have your formula in here correctly, it should show that you for that bill, you owe $15.60. So that means in grand total, right? You owe at the bottom in gray. In grand total of the two invoices, you owe a total of $3,450 to LV Remodeling. Okay? Okay? Any questions so far?
Not for me.
Okay? Just giving you the extra
No
time to
questions.
It's giving you the extra time to catch up. Okay? All right. So there you go. LV Remodeling, Reinforcement of the Foundation, 1760. We got the journal, the ledger, and the subsidiary ledger. Okay? So then let's see what happened next. We made a contract with Higher Temps. Okay? Higher Temps is a headhunter temporary work agency because we don't have time to go through the employment processing, going through everything because we need to start opening our store soon because we are very close to low money. We need to start opening our store soon to go ahead and get our sales. So in this case, we went to a temporary work agency to ask for help for getting a temporary worker. Okay? So this is what the contract said. So since today we're going to sign the contract is to start on the 20, I'm sorry, it's supposed to start on the 17th. So the 17th is Monday. We're going to start opening our store. And it's going to be, and then we're only need them for 3 days to work. So we're going to have them from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So again, it's going to end on the 19th. And we are scheduled to pay them and have the amount due by June 21st. Okay? So again, we want to have a total of 24 hours done from one worker, right? That's going to be in the sales department, and we're going to pay them $15 an hour. Okay? So grand total of $360, right? We only need them to work 3 days, 8-hour shifts. Okay? So that's why it's a total of 24 hours. Okay? So, do I need to record this transaction?
I believe you should record that transaction in the subsidiary.
Okay, but what about in the journal?
Yes.
As
Because
far
it's
as
giving you an amount due.
When is it due?
it's not due yet.
No, so are you paying them now?
Would it be accounts payable?
Um, has the job been done yet?
Nope.
No.
No. So in this case, yes, we owe the money. However, the work has not yet been completed. Can you pay somebody in advance for work that haven't been completed? Yes,
Yeah.
but in this case, just because I signed a contract with this temporary worker, right? Can I guarantee that that one employee that I'm asking for will show up all 3 days?
Um,
No. Because again, we're human just like these companies, right? If that person decided to work for one day, call in sick the next day, what's going to happen? Are you still going to be subjected to pay for all 3 days? No, because then you breach your contract, right? That Higher Temps was supposed to get me somebody to work 3 days, but they only worked 2. So in this case, they would have to either refund you the money or what, so on and so forth, right? Adjust your invoice. So in this case, no, you do not need to record the transaction because one, the event has not occurred yet, or the job has not been completed yet, and 2, you haven't paid them yet, but you discussed what those circumstances are. Yes, you signed the contract. Yes, the agreement is there, but the overall execution isn't there yet. It's not done yet, right? Because it says right here, you're not scheduled to start until the 17th anyway. We're only on the 13th, okay? So it hasn't even been scheduled to be done yet, and they don't require a down payment. So in this case, we can go ahead and safely assume that no, we are not going to record this transaction because no money has actually been transferred. Okay? Only thing that you exchanged was yes, you agreed to whatever terms and whatever contract agreements that you did, but the contract has not started yet, and so on and so forth, right? We already know, we get the point. Okay, so now that I established that, yes, you should put this in your subsidiary ledger, right? Because Hire Temps is a work agency, right? We need to go ahead and record that.
Invoice.
Yes. Hold on. I'm trying to find Hire Temps. There you go. Hire Temps. Okay, Hire Temps, right? You signed the contract on the 13th. Okay? And what did you contract for? 1 worker for 3 days. Okay? To work 8-hour shifts per day.
It actually is it 3 days?
Yeah,
I thought it was the 16th through the 19th. If it's 16th through the 19th, that's 4 days.
I believe it's a 17.
Is that right?
Let's look at the contract again. I believe it's a 17. 17, 18,
Okay, cool.
19. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So in this case, it's 3 days, 8 hours per day. Right? And then, so therefore, total of 24 hours. And we're scheduled to pay them $15 per hour. Okay? All right, to work on 6/17 to 6/19, right? Those are the 3 days that they're working for. Now, what was the contract number?
It was 36515.
36515. Okay. Post reference, once again, you could put general journal page 4, but no transactions was actually done. So in this case, I'm actually going to revoke that. Nothing there. Terms. Okay, terms.
Net 8.
You could do net 8. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna go straight to the due date that it's just due on the 21st.
Yeah, 6/21st.
Yeah, that way there is no real terms there. You just know that you're contracted to pay them on the 21st. Now, in this case, this is what I'm going to put in here temporarily, right? I don't owe them yet because we don't know if that person's going to show up, right? Where I'm not going to pay them if they don't show up, but I am going to keep a record to say that, well, since I already did the calculations in the contract, if that person does come through and does do all 3 days, I can safely say that yes, I owe Hire Temps the $360, right? For 3 days, 8 hours per day,
$15
an hour, right? For the $360. So in this case, yes, I can safely say that I owe Hire Temps that $360 if, because it's a condition, if the contract is been fulfilled. If not, then I can edit this and say, no, I don't owe Hire Temps anything because the contract was breached. So in this case, that's why I wanted you guys to pay very close attention to this one, because in here, for my vendors, I can say I owe them, but not actually record it as accounts payable because the job hasn't been completed. They never billed me for whatever the situation is. We just built a contract for an agreement that yes, I want one person to work for me. I'll pay them $360, but they have to have it done, right? And that's where it is. Now, if you don't want to have that so you don't get confused, then you don't need to put it in there, right? Because you can safely just do the calculation again in your head, or you can leave the calculation here in the items in the invoice. So you don't, so then when you look at your higher temps, it looks like you don't owe them anything yet, right? So whatever makes sense to you in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in here. So just a quick reminder of what that calculation was, even though I can do it myself, right? I'm just going to remind myself that, hey, when the tornado first arrives, did my worker come in? If they did, I paid them the $360 that I owe. Okay? Done. Right? So there's that there. Okay? All right. Let's see what is next. Okay. Okay, wow. We have quite some more left to go. So that was the higher temps. Okay, post to subsid. What is this? I lost my position.
You did
Okay.
the higher temps
Yeah.
last.
Yes. Good. Okay. Right here. So this is where I'm at. So then on the 13th, we went to go pick up the advertising flyers from City Printers, right? And this is what they sent me, saying, well, here's your order number, right? We agreed that you made your payment for $50, and because you only made a 50% down payment, right? You total remaining balance due is $50, and you used your business credit card to pay it and pick up those advertising flyers. So, how do I record this transaction here that I'm paying upon picking up my flyers? Okay. What am I picking up? What did I buy? And how did I pay for it?
But you picked them up.
Mm-hmm.
So you already had a prepaid amount on that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do advertising expense
Mm-hmm.
and then your prepaid account. And then, of course, you use your Visa for the other half.
Correct.
So
good, right?
Visa payable.
Okay.
So for the 13th, advertising expense, which is 60,000 for the total amount of the invoice, which is $100.
Okay.
We're going to be using our prepaid accounts,
Right.
which is 18,600 for the $50 that we prepaid, and then the Visa payable for the 22,000 for the one we just charged again, $50. And then our notes on that would be City Printers. If you want to put, we prepaid 50%, equaling $50. And now we're paying the remainder of the order number 744136 with our business credit card.
Okay. We say applied down pay. And then okay. There is my journal. Okay. So let's go ahead and do my ledger. Okay. So here we got some advertising expense. Here you go at the top. Right? What did you purchased the advertising expense for? You purchased 2,000 flyers. So I'm going to go ahead and put purchased 2,000 flyers. Okay. We're still on General Journal page 4. We're at the very bottom of it. Okay. For the total of $100, right? Because it was 5 cents per flyer, which we paid, which we got 2,000 flyers. So in this case, that's going to give me a grand total of advertising expense to be a total of $185. Okay. We're going to go ahead and claim that down payment here. Okay, so here we are, prepaid accounts. Okay, and we're going to apply the down payment. So applied down pay on order number 744136 on 2,000 flyers. Right? One of them is to put a down payment. Now this one is to apply the down payment. Okay. General Journal page 4, which is going to reduce my prepaid by $50. So now you're back down to that 6654.17. Okay. And last but not least, you're going to end up paying that remainder of balance on your credit card. Okay. For the 13. Let's see. We paid, you could just say you paid for the 2,000 flyers at City Printers. General Journal page 4 for the remaining $50, which should give you your account balance of $185. Okay. And last but not least, we need to update my subsidiary ledger here for City Printers. Okay, General Gas Motors. Here you go. Nope. Yes, no, yes, no. Freight line, here you go. Nope. That's Computers RS. City Printers right here. Today is the 13th. Okay. You can go ahead and say purchased or picked up 2,000 flyers, right? If you want to be detailed, you can say at 5 cents a piece. Okay, each applied down payment, and then you use the Visa credit card. Okay, so again, same order number, General Journal page 4, but in this case, no terms. And this is now we can apply our prepaid amounts for $50, right? The original amount was, if you wanted to calculate it, what 5 cents times 2,000 flyers was, they quoted you at $100. You put the down payment of $50 and you paid with the Visa credit card, $50. So therefore, that should give you a total balance of 0. Okay? So again, this is your proof that you picked up the flyers. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's see what's next. Okay. All right, you paid with your business credit card. Okay. So now let's see what happened next. Here we end up receiving a bill from Restaurant Supplies in regards to our refrigerator. Okay? So let's take a look at this invoice here. Okay? From Restaurant Supplies, you put it on your account number 568912, right? Ship date is the 14th. Okay. Valley. Okay, so this could say here. It says here that we put it on an 18-month financed plan, 0 APR, and then 18% APR over due balances. Okay. Here, right, we got the commercial refrigerator for $2,998. Shipping or tax cost me $247.34, and shipping cost $250. So your total amount due is $3,495.34. Okay? Now, how am I going to record this one? How do I record that I received a bill from Restaurant Supplies for my refrigerator?
The notes payable.
Yes, because I financed it, right? I'm not subjected to have to be required to make the payments until after the 18 months or whatever, right? I can choose to do that. Okay, and we're on the 14th now. We're on Friday. So in this case, that is absolutely correct. We're going to put it on a notes payable because I financed it, right? I financed the refrigerator to make payments on it for however payments I want to make a payment on. And I have 18 months, 0 APR with an 18% interest on it for any balances overdue. So in this case, right, this is a notes payable because I'm choosing when to pay. I can defer my payments and I can choose how much I'm going to pay. So in this case, there you go. You're going to do a notes payable. Now, what did I acquire? What did I buy?
Bought a refrigerator.
You bought a
Commercial
refrigerator.
refrigerator.
Yes. Now, do we have an account for that? So in this case,
Yes, we do.
this is called an asset, right? Because we're buying a refrigerator, it's electronics and machinery, it's to keep our stuff cold. So in this case, let's see, refrigerator, yes we do, for $15.30. We bought equipment. Okay? For okay, $15.30. Okay? And we got the notes payable for $23,000. Okay? So general journal right here, we're going to put in that we have a refrigerator. Okay. And we have, we're put it on a notes payable. Okay, so refrigerator was account 15030. My notes payable was 23,000. So what is the total amount that I paid for, or in this case financed my refrigerator for, and how much is the refrigerator?
I'm just changing a couple of things. I'll be right with you because I really like how you did the 50% net, and I didn't put that down, so I had to add that back then to that one. I really like that because that makes sense for terms. So I apologize. And so now I'll pay attention to you. Refrigerator, notes payable. Um,
How much is it?
I put it, well, it went to the restaurant supply. Oh, the amount,
Uh-huh.
$3,495.34.
Okay.
And then that's how much goes to notes payable. And then for the notation, I went to restaurant supply for a commercial refrigerator, $2,889 plus tax, $247.34 plus shipping, $250 for account number 568912 on invoice number 002032.
Was I given terms?
18 months, zero financing. After that, 18%.
Okay, good. So you can go ahead and plug this into your ledger. Because I now have purchased a refrigerator. Okay.
The big ticket item.
There you go. Today is the 14th, right? We purchased the refrigerator for $2,998, okay, plus 8.25% tax, which was like $247, was
It's at
Yeah,
247.34,
34.
and then the shipping's 250.
Still, we just finished our last section here of my general journal for the $3,495.34. Okay. Okay. And we decided to place it on a notes payable because we financed it. So here we are, notes payable. Today is the 14th, right? What did you buy? Finance 18 months on refrigerator. Okay, general page 4 for a credit of $34.95.34. Okay. And that's going to give you a total notes payable to be $4,144.83. Okay. All right, so then let's see what's next is going to be your subsidiary ledger because now you owe restaurant supplies more money. Okay. Okay, here's restaurant supplies. 14. So this is where you can maximize all the information that you need to put in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in purchased refrigerator. Okay. Okay. And we financed it. Financed 18 months, 0% APR. Okay, and then 18% interest after 18 months. Okay, we have it on in an account, right? It should be the same exact account, 569812. Okay. This one was the invoice number 002032. See invoice number 2032. Yep. Okay. General journal page 4. Right terms. We don't really have a terms due date or anything. We haven't received our first bill yet. But we know that the invoice here, we know that it is for the 18-month financing, but we are not subjected to have to make any payments anytime soon. We have the 18 months free period to pay whatever for the $3,495.34. Okay. So because you owe that amount now, that should give you a total of $4,144.83 that you owe to restaurant supplies. Okay? All right. To restaurant supplies, okay? So I did the journal, I did the ledger, and I did the subsidiary ledger. So let me see one. Okay. So let's go ahead and finish this off, and then we'll just save the trial balance to be done when we come back from the break. Or what I can do is I can have you guys clock in for that Friday class to make it up with this with the trial balance, if that makes it easier. So then when we start on January, we start on a fresh new plate, right? If that's something that you want to do, I can also do that as well. Okay. All right. So then we start off with week 3. Nothing's left behind. Oh, you have all the answers for week 2. I think that would be the best thing that we can do. But for now, let's just go ahead and process this section here to finish it up, and then we'll do the trial balance. I'll post a video tomorrow for the trial balance for week 2 along with the answers. So Monday or Tuesday when we come back from the winter break, we start week 3. Right? So in this case right here, we purchased from Restaurant Supplies receipt number 005831 here. Okay. We purchased some medium cups and some large cups. So the medium cups are 12 ounces, while the large cup is 16 ounces. It's 5 cents per medium cup and 7.5 cents per large cup. So here is the calculations here. You got taxed because you went to the store and purchased it. So therefore, it cost you $10.31. And you used your Visa credit card to pay for it. So what did I do? What did I buy? How did I pay for it? Okay, and we are on page 5. Okay. Okay, what did I buy? Okay. Looks like I purchased some business supplies, right? I bought some medium coffee cups and I bought some large coffee cups, right? So in this case, right, that's exactly what I purchased, was $17.60 and $17.65. And I used my Visa credit card to make a payment for it. So in this case, that is what I'm going to do, is record that I have some medium coffee cups and some large coffee cups. And I used my Visa credit card to pay for it. Okay. So therefore, let me see, that was 17,060, 1765, and 22.
17,660, 17,665. Oh, I'm sorry. For the medium cups, it's 11,760 and 11,765. I apologize.
760, 11,765. Okay. And 22,000. Okay. Now, if I made a payment for $135.31, what happened to the tax? What did I do with that?
You have to split it.
You have to split it. So in this case, let's go ahead and do the calculations on the side here. So if my medium cups, right, I purchased it for a total of $50. And my large cups, I purchased it for a total of $75, right? If my tax is going to be 8.25%, okay, so I get $14.12 here, and I get $6.18.75, right? So in this case, let's see.
You're off by a penny.
You're off by a penny, so you need to split that penny once again. Now in this case, you have half a penny versus 3/4 of a penny. Where are you going to split the penny now?
Give it to the 3/4. Take
Yeah.
it away from the.
Correct. So you're going to charge like that, right? So in this case, your total for the medium cups is $54.12, while your large cups is going to be $81.19. Okay. So that's exactly what you're going to do. You got $54.12 and $81.19 to give you your grand total of your $135.31. Okay. So you should have all the information that you need here, right? You went to restaurant supplies. You had a sales receipt number 005831. Okay. What did you buy? You bought 2,000 cups, right? Because you bought 1,000 of each cup. You bought 2,000 cups. Okay. And that's pretty straightforward. Okay. so, go ahead and plug it to your ledger. Okay, because now I finally got some coffee cups going. That means I'm getting very, very close to starting to open up my business so I can start selling my coffee now, right? Okay, so here's my checking account. Sorry if you're going to get a headache from that. Okay, here you go. That's accounts receivable, business supplies. There you go. First one I have here is coffee cups. So again, I can be as specific as possible. So today is the 14th. What did we purchase? We purchased 1,000 cups, okay, at 5 cents each, okay, plus 8.25% tax, which gave me a total of $4.12. Okay, General Journal, page 5 now, since I finished the 4th one, for a total of $54.12. Okay? Okay? So then, let's see what my next one here is, my large cups. Today's the 14th. We purchased 1,000 of the large cups, right? Which was costing 7.5 cents each cup, okay? Plus the 8.25% tax, which gave me a total of $6.19. So then, therefore, that should give you, right, we're on journal page 5, a total of $81.19. And then, of course, we used our business credit card to make a payment for those cups. So here's my business credit card, right? It's the 14. We purchased 2,000 cups, okay, at Restaurant Supplies. General Journal page 5 here, which put $135.31 on my credit card. Okay, so therefore that should give you a total current balance of $320.31 on your credit card. Okay. So last thing I gotta do here is plug it into my subsidiary ledger. Right here, I'm already on Restaurant Supplies because today's the 14th, right? And you can go ahead and put through the same thing. Purchased 1,000 medium cups, okay, for $54.12 plus 1,000 large cups for $81.19. And that's going to give you sales receipt number 00 5831. Okay. General Journal page 5 for the total of $135.31, which you used your Visa credit card to make a payment for. So that's something I want to make a note here. You used your Visa credit card. Okay. Important that you note that you use your Visa credit card, because then if you do ever have to refund or you return the product, you know you use your Visa credit card to pay for it. So therefore, that money is going to go back to your Visa credit card, right? You cannot take any credits, cash, or anything out because you use a Visa credit card to pay for things. So this is also why I note that I use my Visa credit card for this. Okay? And I plugged in the wrong number. Okay? Good. Okay? Very, very last transaction of the day, right? Very, very last transaction is the owner decides to withdraw $1,500 from the bank. Okay, so what did the owner do? What did the owner do? What did the owner do if he took $1,500 from the bank? Right? In this case, right, the owner has every right to take money away from his own company, right? Because that's his own money he put into the company, right? He owns the business, so if he feels the necessary justifications that he worked so hard for the last 2 weeks to set up his own business, that he wants to compensate himself for $1,000 and $1,500, right, from his own business, then so be it, right? It's his money. He owns the company, so he has every right to take the money whenever he'd like. So in this case, if he's withdrawing money from his company, he is doing a owner's withdrawal, right? So let's see. In my chart of accounts, do I have owner's withdrawal in my accounts? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see, check it out under equity. Yes, we do. We do have owner's withdrawal, account number 32,000. Okay, now how is he going to withdraw from his company? Where did he get the money from? Where did he get the money from? Well, it says here that he withdrew the money from the bank, right? So in this case, he took the money from the checking account. Now, what is the most proper thing that you should do to ensure that he's not embezzling his own company, right? What is the most proper way to do this? Okay? Yes, he can have every right to go walk into his own bank account for the business bank and withdraw the money and go and put that into his personal bank account or whatever, right? He has every right that he could do that. But in this case, if he's just pulling the money out from his own business bank account, not leaving any note or any reason why he's taking it out, that already looks suspicious to anybody, right? That just looks like someone he's trying to steal from his own company. So the most best way to properly do this is to cut a check and write it out to Bob Mason himself, and he takes that money and drops it into his personal checking account. Since he's the owner of the business, that right there is proof that he's taking the money to put in his own personal bank account instead of just going to the business bank account and just taking the money out, right? That right there, it looks like you're stealing from the business. Where this one, he's actually properly paying himself with a check and putting it into his own, right? That way, it's less embezzlement because he can use the justification saying, "Hey, I worked so hard, I deserve to pay myself," right? Where if he takes cash out, that's straight up no reason, no paper trail, nothing. That right there is a little more suspicious than it is, to other people. So in this case, that the most proper thing to do is to go ahead and write him a check. Okay. So we're going to use check number 1514 for that $1,500 to Bob Mason, if you remember the owner's name. Okay? And I'm going to put the reason for an owner's draw. Okay? And he's going to be taking check number 1514. Okay? So, you have all the information you need here. You got an owner's draw from company with a check number 1514. Okay? All right. So, last but not least, let's go ahead and plug those numbers into my ledger. Okay? To update that, so we have an owner's withdrawal here for the 14. Right? Whatever his reasons is for taking the money, that's up to him. Okay, for the $1,500. And you're going to need to update the checking account because the money is being withdrawn directly from the checking account, right? So by taking $1,500 out from the checking account, he has left his company with $3,989.92 left. Right? And last question here. Was somebody involved with him taking his own money out from his checking account? Was a person involved? Was an employee involved? Was a vendor involved? Or was a customer involved? In this case, nobody was involved. So this is an internal transaction because the boss himself decided to go to his own business bank account and take the personal transaction out for himself, right? Or take the money out for himself. So in this case, nobody else was involved except for the owner, and the owner is not technically part of the company. Okay? He doesn't work for the company, he doesn't provide services for the company, and nor does he sell himself stuff for the company. So in this case, the owner doesn't belong into any of the subsidiary ledgers. Okay? So last but not least, go ahead and if you do this, because I do it, okay, I like to break off this section right here to let me know that this is the end of my week 2 of transactions here. Okay, so then if I do end up finding an error that I've made in my accounting, I'd be able to identify where my mistake would be in between, right? Instead of having to scroll up and down, up and down, and up and down. Now, I only have 2 pages worth of transactions, so right now it's easy to scope and go through. But when you're looking at week 3 and week 4, we're going to be looking at multiple pages of journals that you'll be looking at, right? If you looked at the entire course ahead of time, there's 25 pages worth of materials that we are journalizing. So if you really, really, truly think about it, we're only on page 5. That means for the next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks, I guess, if you count week 5, right, as the last 2 days plus the adjustments, that's 20 pages of materials I'm going to go through. So if you divide the rest of the 20 pages left remaining, that's roughly 8 pages that you're going to have materials for each week. So in this case, this is why I do this, so then I'm able to locate my transactions a lot quicker. Okay? All right. So that concludes my transactions. So I will save, and we'll go ahead and do the trial balance for tomorrow. Okay.